friends, this is Chandra from Akulmac Technologies. Welcome to Top Brass. Today we are joined by Farida Charania. She joins us from Singapore, and many of us would know her by last name and first name. She is in the fraternity of all the CXOs, and she is invited by universities to give lectures on human capital. She is a very famous personality, and we are very glad to welcome Farida Charania on our show. Farida, welcome to Top Brass.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So, Farida, we are in India. Today is day 20th. It's a total lockdown, and there are certain districts in India which are in extreme end of lockdown where you can't even step out of your door of the main houses. But I think by and large, almost 100% of the citizens in India are following the lockdown. I think that is pretty much the only solution we have. And since you are in Singapore, how does it look like in Singapore?
So we are amidst the circuit breaker right now, which is basically, circuit breaker is a lockdown, but slightly different that you can go out for essentials still if, it's absolutely necessary. I come from a place where people generally follow rules. So the roads are very quiet. If you need to kind of buy your essentials, then, it's a restricted number of people in a certain place. People wear masks and everyone is working from home. So I think law and order is in place. But like every other part of the world, people are scared. But yeah, we'll get there.
So it's a lockdown in most of the countries. Do you see any change in the behavioral pattern of people or any innovation that people might have come out with in order to follow the law set by the government?
I think everyone is getting used to the new normal, which is working from home, because working from home used to be a privilege. Today it's a necessity and it's becoming the new normal. Innovation, of course, when there is a situation, people innovate and they try to adapt. So people are adapting very quickly. A couple of examples here. So there is a food service which is Food Panda, and as soon as the lockdown came down, they started something called Panda Mart, which is basically within less than an hour, they will deliver your essentials. So very basics like milk, bread, egg, etc. But you get it sitting in your house. So I think they already had the infrastructure and they very quickly built on it, and they were the first ones to actually come out with this. So that was one innovation which I thought was quite cool. On the business front. In terms of people, yes, we are innovating. I'm learning to work with noise in the background, as you can see my daughter. But that's I think, yes, people are adapting. They're adapting very quickly. And I do see business still happening, which is a good thing.
Your daughter is very sweet, and she's very inquisitive, and she's trying to see what mama is doing.
Yeah. She doesn't see me so much, so I think she's kind of a little overwhelmed by having me around so much.
Yeah, and I think as a leader of my organization, I also see this because earlier my team was working from the office, and now they are working from home. So me as a leader also, I'm getting exposed to their personal lives. So there are many young parents and their kids and all that. So all that is now coming. Now, having said that, I think the way people are doing business has changed quite a bit. Do you, from your point of view, because you work with a lot of senior people across the world in UK, in Singapore, and also in India, do you see any lowering of sentiments in the business fraternity?
I think initially, so there are a few stages that I experienced. I'm basically talking about this right from, my contacts in San Francisco, where I actually speak a lot to a lot of people, to England, where I lived till recently, and Singapore, which is home. and India, of course, because I do have a lot of business discussions in India as well. I have seen it emerging from it's fine, it's just a temporary situation, and we will get back to office. We'll meet up for a coffee and let's talk face to face. There was another phase after that saying that this might take a little bit of time, but when we meet, we will make decisions. Now we are at a stage where people say that we do not know how much time it will take, so let's go back to business. BCP is anyways in place, and let's continue to do business. In fact, so there are several companies that I advise, and Zopa is one of the companies that I advise, and we actually picked up a couple of very large government deals during this time, which is actually in normal situation it would have taken a lot longer, but we did it because it was a good time for everyone to kind of sit down. Everyone was available. So many a times you don't kind of close things off because people are not available, but where would they go at this point in time? So everyone is available, but I think overall sentiment is a little bit low, definitely, because you do not know that how long will the economic impact of this whole health emergency is going to last. Is it 1 year, 2 years, 3 years? Because it's just started. We will start seeing the impact in a few months. So definitely there is a dampening of sentiments, and even after all of this is over and it's behind us, there is going to be cautiousness. So it will stop raining, but the floor will be wet. So people will still be very conscious.
In fact, you mentioned a very important word called BCP, which for the benefit of our viewers, I just elongate this abbreviation, that is called Business Continuity Plan. So we should have a BCP for all countries, because I think most of the countries, entire world is under lockdown right now. So from your point of view, what do you think governments of each country should do to bring the sentiment up after this lockdown is lifted?
I think the governments in every part of the world are in a very difficult situation right now, because this is something that no government has seen. 3 or 4 generations who are parallelly surviving in today's world may not have experienced anything like this. So it's new for people, it's new for governments. A lot of governments are doing what they can. They are trying to keep the morale up. They are trying to see what they can do, but they are dealing with a very difficult problem. So they are dealing with the problem of one, treating people who are infected, to finding who are infected and not symptomatic and infecting others, making sure that the ones who are well stay away from that. So they are dealing with this, and they are also trying to find the cure. So there are a lot of things happening, but governments are coming up with different kind of aids, different kind of packages to help economy, to help the country. Like Singapore government has been one of those very they've had a very good approach to this whole situation, saying that we can't do anything about what's already happened, but what we can do is we can prevent the further spreading. England, so in the UK specifically, they have come out with a lot of measures as well to help companies keep their employees, etc. I think it's very early to say what governments can do, and this is a very fluid situation. Things are changing much beyond anybody's anticipation, expectation. So it's very difficult to say what the governments can do, because I think they have a lot of advisors who tell them what to do. But in my opinion, I think as responsible citizens, what we can do is follow the rules. What we can do is listen to the government, and just be conscious of the fact that this is not something that they have experienced before. So instead of finding fault with the system, we just go along with the system, respect the rules, and then just work with our immediate fraternity, with our immediate community, to see where we can contribute. But expecting something from the government more than what they are already doing, I don't think at this point I want to even say anything there.
Farida, actually, what you're saying is making a lot of sense, because the first thing every citizen should do is follow the rules set by the government, because they have the right thinking, right advisor. It is in their interest to make sure that the global economy is kicked in again after the lockdown.
Precisely.
So I think,
Because we can't have a situation where the cure is more destructive than the disease itself. So, we need to just play it by the ear. In fact, somebody asked me that, what is your next venture? I said, I haven't thought that far. I'm just taking it one day at a time, because nobody can think that far. I made 100 plans, but I couldn't, kind of execute any of them because the world had changed by the time I was ready to execute. So I haven't thought that far. But my recommendation to anyone who probably thinks there is some advice coming from me would be that just play it by the ear. You can't plan too many things right now because you don't know how things are going to pan out. But stay within your fraternity, stay connected via means which does not require physical meetings, and listen to your government.
I think these are very important words of wisdom, which is coming from such an experienced person like you, Farida. It is wonderful talking to you today. It has been a great pleasure, and I'm sure we'll find another opportunity to talk to you once again after a few days to check what's going on.
Absolutely. Such a pleasure, Chandra. Thank you so much. And thank you to everyone who's watching this. My good wishes to you and your family. Stay safe, stay calm. This too shall pass. Thank you.
Thank you, Farida. Be safe, be positive, and we'll talk to you soon again.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.